answering your question, how the information from the wizard gets passed to, what is it? The backend. I mean, let's call it backend, meaning how is it written to XML? So let me start from the beginning. I'm gonna kill my debug session. So assuming that you, I mean, by now you should be able to run to edit from PyCharm. So I'm not gonna cover that. I assume that we can all do this. So the way I actually, I didn't remember how to do this, to be honest. So, so I started looking for Word XML, right? And the first thing that with the XML that pops up is this call to generate XML. And quite frankly, it doesn't tell me much. If you look at this code here, it's also not obvious what it does. So this is why debugging is actually super useful here. I mean, you can, of course, figure out what this code does, but it requires jumping through multiple files. And with the debugger, this task will be much, much, much easier, and you will see that. So let's say that this is our first suspect, generate XML, and this is actually correct suspect. This is the function in line 1266 where XML generation takes place, right? And we'll cover this XML generate tool. We'll see what it does. Now, if I scroll up, because this function is being called from a method within the new simulation wizard. If I scroll up, going up, it's a pretty lengthy function. This name is clearly misleading because it says generate new project. It should say generate project, probably. So what generate project does, and we should actually document it. By the way, this may be a task for you guys if you go through the code, and you can take this, or you can write doc strings. So you could obviously do something like that. If you are in PyCharm, the nice thing is that you can do triple quotes, hit enter, and it should generate doc string, like the template for doc strings. So I can show you, let me actually show you another trick. So for example, this function, make project directories, right? It takes two parameters. Now, if you look at this, underlined word dir, the reason why it's underlined is because dir is actually a Python keyword. So it's unfortunate name. So that's another hint. So if I wanna, I will show you, if I wanna document, provide doc strings for this function, I put triple quotes, triple double quotes. So 1, 2, 3, the closing quotes are added automatically. If I hit enter, notice that it actually gives you those hooks for parameter 1, parameter 2. So this is something, as you go through the code and you go to a function like the one we are here, generate new project. Once you learn what it does, you can actually write documentation strings. This is also, could be part of your assignment, and it will make your life easier, and it will help other people. So going back here, so when this function generate new project will be called exactly after you hit the done button on the wizard. So let's see how it works in practice. So I'm opening to edit. Okay, I'm gonna create new project. I'm gonna call it generate 2. Actually, generate 1 is fine. We're gonna generate Python plus XML because I want to show you how the XML is generated. Okay, let me actually go here. I'm not gonna change anything. One thing that is useful to remember for now is that lattice dimensions are 256 by 1. Well, if you want, we can change it to 258. Let's change it to 258. because we want to see how this number gets reflected in Python code. So 258 by 256 by 1. I'm not going to change much here. Will be a rectangular slab. I'm going to create 3 types, A, B, and I'm going to actually 3. So C, I'm going to freeze this one. Okay, so this is a frozen type. Continue. I'm going to add one diffusion solver, FGF. Call it whatever you want. Continue, contact, and yeah, let's do volume flags actually. Is there anything else? I'm just trying to see if there is. So we have center of mass, cell neighbors. I'm trying to see what else we can generate. Maybe let's generate external potential. I'm not gonna, we can cover chemotaxis later, but for now, let's start with those, I don't know, 5 plugins. Continue. So now when I hit done button, I should be dropped into generate new project. Okay, that's the goal. I mean, that's not the goal, that's the outcome of what I'm doing. So I'm gonna hit done. And there we go, here I am. Now, probably know what this is. So so that's directory, line edit, LE stands for line edit. So, you know, the conventions that I try to follow, I know that's good or bad, but in Qt, you have, you know, line edits, you have text edits, you have scroll you have push buttons, you have scroll buttons, you have a bunch of widgets. So LE stands for line edit. This is scroll button, SB. CB is a checkbox. So I follow this convention so that I know which Qt element a given variable corresponds to. Okay, and actually I would encourage you to do the same because it will make life easier and we can follow the same convention. Anyway, enough talking. Let's see what this evaluates to. I think it will evaluate to exactly user demo. So this is the directory where we store our file, our project. This guy should evaluate to generate 1. So let's actually, let me stop, let me step. And again, it does evaluate to generate 1. All right. It's actually handy.
What is the command to open the evaluate window?
This one? Yeah. Oh, so the shortcut on, I think Windows and Mac, on Windows, it's Alt F8, or you can click this guy.
Okay.
It looks like a calculator icon. So on Apple is also Alt F8 or Option F8, whatever you call it. It's Option probably. But if you highlight it, it's actually good to, you know, sometimes you can learn those shortcuts by hovering over icon and it will display. Another tip, and you know, that's not the topic of this meeting, but I want to show you this anyway. What I like about PyCharm, I mean, every tool has this feature, but PyCharm is, why am I, where'd it go? Hold on, I'm trying to, you can assign, if you go to key map, you can literally assign any shortcuts you want. So for, you know, it's really easy. Yeah. Like file open, let's say if you want to type open. So I assigned it to Apple O. And all you have to do really, it's like, let's say I want to change this. You right click and you right click on an action. You say add keyboard shortcut and you literally say, I know, let's do this. And then it says, hey, this is already assigned. And you can, if you click OK, this Apple Shift B will be assigned to to this particular safe setting sync action, right? And then you have option to unassign it from the action that it was assigned previously. So this is just a small digression. All right, so we're here, line 1129. So we'll create a general properties dictionary. So general properties dictionary, if you see what it says here, so MCS, lattice type, simulation name, boundary conditions, dimensions, right? This is all coming from the second wizard. You know, remember when I changed the 256 to 258? We should see that this guy evaluates to 258. Let's do that. So again, I'm going to see what general properties looks like. Right now, it should have only one member, dim. And it is 258, 256, 1. So so now you can see that this is exactly the place where you read off all the values that you specified in your user interface, okay? And you store them, well, in this case, in this general properties dictionary, okay? So this part here, so you know what? This copies from, maybe I should say from pods. Page. I'm gonna actually keep those comments and update the code later on. Okay, so this is what happens, right? So now, if you ask me, so here's the question, like, how do I know that I have to call value? How do I know that I have to call current text? How do I know that, I don't know, is there anything else interesting? Well, let's start with those two. Okay, let's start with this one. What I can do, I can type this. I can essentially grab the name of the object. So this, what I'm going to type here, as you can see, this xdim sb is a Q spin box, okay? And what I can do, I can literally scroll down and try to find this value. And I don't see it here, okay? There's no value. What I can do, if you want to see all attributes of a Python object, you could type dir, right? So this should display all the Python object properties, right? And there are 428, right? And this list will contain way more information than the previous screen. So here, if I'm patient enough and I keep loading more and more of those are all the functions that this QSpin object has. So I can, of course, read it. And at some point, I should hit the value. It's not the best way. You shouldn't do that. I'm just showing you that this value actually exists somewhere. And you have to click file. And there it is, this function value. Of course, you don't know what it does. So typically what I do, really, let me actually open. And this, you should bookmark this page somewhere. Qt54. Yeah, this is good enough. Let me actually send this link to you. So we are using Qt5 everywhere. It's Qt5.15, whatever. So Qt5 is our library. Now there is Qt6. Based on my understanding, the differences are tiny, and we will upgrade, but not much will change for in terms of code changes. Okay, so let me actually send this link to you. I'm gonna paste it in chat. Okay, so bookmark this page, because now if I wanna type Q spin So this is how you would find what function you want to call, really. And come on. Why is it so bad? Let's do Q spin box. You know what? I probably it's better to do it like this. Let's go to the second page here. Okay. Okay. So this is how this thing looks like. That's our class. And those are public functions, right? And what public functions means, typically you will be using public functions or public slots or signals. That's the only thing you really care about in practically. I mean, for the most part of coding in Qt. So, you know, those functions are sort of like explanatory. Maximum will return maximum value that you can reach by clicking the the up arrow on the spin box. Minimum is minimum. And then you have set range. You can set range what the maximum and minimum are. And what we care about is value here. And obviously, this property holds the value of the spin box. And that's exactly what we want. So this is how I know that I need to call value here. Okay. Now, then there is membrane fluctuation. Membrane fluctuation, you remember, it is, if I highlight it, it's Q line edit. So if I go to my documentation page, and let's hit line edit. Again, public functions, there is clearly more than for spin box because it's, but you have this text function, okay, that returns, this property holds the line edits text. And that's exactly what we want to get, okay? Don't, like, you know, if you were programming in C++, because this documentation is for C++, okay? The nice thing is that documentation for Python, which for PyQt is exactly the same, but instead of using QString, which is C++ object, it will use string, like regular Python string. So don't get, you know, this QString should not bother you, really. Don't pay attention to that. It will be Python string when you call it from PyQt. Okay, so we can go, you know, execute line by line. Okay, so let's say we are past this line here. Actually, let me actually go a few. So now there is this blob RB. Blob RB, you know what? Let me actually open up new to edit window. Okay, so because I want to show you something. Let me show you something now. Where is it? On the activate CC3D. I think. And let's try this. Python -m CC3D when it file. Because I want, it would be easier if I can show you. All right. Which element corresponds to which variable here. Of course, you can get this information from the designer, but which, by the way, I might actually, we should also look over that. How do I know that I actually have to call this variable? Yeah, so let's do this. New simulation, demo, debug. Okay, so I'm actually move those guys away for a second. So let's go back, and so we really stepped over this guy, right? this self blob RB, right? What is self blob RB? Self blob RB is this radio button. So there are 3 radio buttons. There is one for rectangular slab, one for blob, one for custom PIF layout, okay? So radio button, if you want to see if it is checked or not, okay, this one is checked, this one is not. So clearly, because I didn't change this should evaluate as false, I think. Let's see if that's true. So I'm going to check self blob RB is checked, false, right? Again, if you are wondering, how do I know it is checked? Again, you can click this, you see it's Q radio button, you can go to the documentation again, and search for Q radio button, right? And whoa, how interesting, huh? Doesn't show you much. How do I know that it is checked? Well, in this situation, that's actually a great case. I'm glad that we stumbled into this. So in this situation, when you go to documentation for Q radio button, let's double check that we are in the right class. So Q radio button, we are in the right class. We go to the documentation and we don't see much, right? We can, yeah. So in this situation, it's a good idea to go to list all members, including inherited members. Okay, you can also expand this to see what this Q radio button inherits from, but okay, but I'm gonna do that. So here we see all inherited members, and somewhere yeah, this model is checked. Yeah. So this property holds whether the button is checked. My gut feeling is that this button, exactly, that Q radio button inherits from Q abstract button class. Okay. If you don't know what inheritance is, it's essentially saying, hey, my Q radio button will have all the functions that my Q abstract button has, plus I will add some more. So that's in a nutshell what inheritance is. There's more to that, but I don't want to go deep into what inheritance is. But the bottom line is, if you hit a situation like this, when you're really, the documentation doesn't tell you much, you can look at the examples, Stack Overflow. You can use ChatGPT would be great. Look, let's do ChatGPT. This is actually one of my favorite things to use with ChatGPT. So write PyQt5 code that checks if Q radio button is checked. Okay, and there we go. All right, set checked. Yeah, and this is checked. Okay, so one thing I can tell you that actually ChatGPT is very good about writing PyQt code, and if you explain what you want to do, I actually use it in a few cases. Recently, when I had to fix some styling of certain Qt elements. So don't be afraid to use ChatGPT. It's good. I mean, it can be wrong from time to time. We can have conversation on that, but it's actually a very useful tool. If anything, ChatGPT helps you with I mean, essentially saves you time writing boilerplate code. That counts for a lot. So, you know, that increases your productivity. So don't be afraid to use ChatGPT. It's all allowed. Anything goes here. Well, I mean, almost anything. All right, enough. So back to our new simulation wizard. Before I go any further, like, is this pace okay? Do you think, Pedro, Leo, Liam, is it okay so far?
For
Okay,
me,
good.
it's okay. I would add that the other day you taught me how to find out what the values are from the Qt designer page. From the
Yeah. So, that's a good point. Let's actually, yes. So I showed you how to get, you know, current text, how to, once you know the name of the object, how to get current text or value and so on. But how do you know what the name is of, why boundary conditions, the thing that in, so let's actually switch back to edit. So boundary conditions, okay. What is the name of this spin box, right? This is a spin box, is it? It is. Why does it look like, you know, how do I know what is it, how to refer to this element in Python, right? I mean, clearly I cannot do it here. I think I don't. So, but somehow I call it XCB. So to find this, you would go, and I'm going to do that. So conda, so you would activate conda where your CompuCell is installed, right, or whatever. Well, if you have a conda environment where CompuCell is installed, you will have QDesigner. On Windows, there might be one trick that you have to play. And if you're, you know, well, I think we covered it, but if you have questions about it, email me and I can CC3D, and I can help you how to get the Windows designer going. And now I can type now. Designer app. So this is the tricky part. So on Mac, the designer app, I mean, the designer is hidden in the designer app folder. So I'm gonna do it. So Leo, I mean, last time we were talking about double commander, okay? I'm gonna show you something here. I'm gonna go to my double commander. So I'm trying to get to my Miniconda environment. So what do? I hit Control S, not Apple S, Control S. This stuff pops up and I'm typing mini, and it actually drops you to the first match of the folder that corresponds to mini that starts with word mini. So I'm going inside. I'm looking for environment, ENVS, and my environment is called CC3D 4416. And now, if I go to bin folder, there is this designer app. Right? Now, the actual command for the designer is in contents. I think, no, I think this is, no, I think this is it. That's the designer app in Mac OS. So what I can do, I can go to another panel here, and I can create a link like this. So you know, my left panel points to user Miniconda and 4416 bin. I'm gonna jump to this panel, highlight this designer, and I'm gonna hit Control-Shift-S. Control-Shift-S will create a link here that points to this file. Let's hope I get this link somewhere here. Where is the link? Where's the bloody link? Did it create? Let's see. No. Why did I screw up some? Bin. Okay. Oh, file exists. One. Right. You know what? I'll do something else. I'm gonna call this link something different. I'm gonna call it lowercase designer. But I'm on Mac, so let's do it. Control S. I'm gonna call it DES. And this designer, it shows here. So now I can, while I'm in my Conda environment, if I type des, it should actually start the designer, which it does. Okay. So I know if I have this guy open. So, oh, this is new file wizard. I don't want that. I want new simulation wizard. That's what I want. Okay. So continue now. If you wanna, okay, there are two ways to go about finding out what is the name of this object. You can right click here, change object name, and you will see that current object name is this. All right. Another option is to, and I'm just trying to see where the other windows went, because I should see a panel, nice panel here. So this part of the, it's not shown on this part of my screen but I can go to the view and I have property editor. There it is, property editor. Okay. So if I click this guy, this is YCB. If I click that guy, it's YDIMSB. So let's switch to our code so that we can see. If I want to read of this value, I have to type self x dim sb, self x dim sb, and I want to get value of it. If I want to read of this value, I have to type y dim sb, right? If I want to, there is neighbor order somewhere. Where is neighbor order? This guy, okay? Pixel copy range neighbor order. Let's click this guy. And it's called neighbor order SB. If I want to read of this value, that's how I do it. Does it make sense? Yeah. So this is in general like the workflow that you follow. And this is like what I do. If I were to write something, I would literally open the designer and I would be checking the names. And then really this part, what it does, I'm literally storing the values that I read in this dictionary. Sometimes I group values in a list when we are talking about dimensions. Sometimes I store them as like, neighbor order as a single value, okay? Later on, we will pass this dictionary to the function that generates XML. So now we are here. So here, let me actually comment this. Here on, we will process cell type data. So where does cell type data come from? Let's switch to our designer. Cell type data will come from this table. You remember when we populated ABC types, right? Now, let's see. Cell type table. Let's see what we can learn about this. Cell type table. is QTable widget. Okay. Let's go to the documentation. Let's learn about QTable widget. QTable widget. All right. One more. So I'm hitting Apple F to find stuff. QTable widget. QTable widget is a Qt object that looks like it's very simple to use, and it is, like when you're first starting programming. It's very easy to set up. Longer term, if you're serious about Qt development, you would probably never use this class, never. And this is separate topic, this is advanced topic, but I'll just point you to what you would use instead. You would use abstract models, and you would work with, model view controller classes that Qt provides, and it actually makes your life easier and helps you write better code. But for now, let's stick with QTable widget. So if we go back to this line, hey, we're trying to iterate over every single row, right? Fine. So how do we find row count? Hey, it should be here somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. So I think we are again in the situation.
I found it. I found it in the designer. So if you open designer and you click on the table,
yeah,
they show all the options. Yeah, so go down. Down. Qt table widget row count 0.
Oh yeah.
Qtable widget row count. Yeah.
That's see that's useful. That's useful. Very good. Yes. Thanks for yeah. You're right. Yeah. So that might be actually a even faster way.
Yeah.
But that's see I've learned something. So there is row count somewhere. See, there is. I guess I was scrolling to public functions, but there are properties. So row count. Anyway, but this is useful trick. Exactly. And I bet the same is true for horizontal headers, for all those guys. Yep. I bet they are all functions. So if you type your QTable widget dot selection behavior, you should get some output. No, this is great. This is great. All right. So back to the code. So we are iterating over raw. Raw is an integer. Now let's examine this guy, and then we'll go faster. I just want to go slower at the beginning, and then we'll speed up a little bit. Or we can take a break and continue some later time, your choice. So QTable widget, if I type item, so here I'm reading row 0, column 0, okay? But let's see. So it's QTable widget now. No, this is the right. QTable widget item. So QTable widget item is the thing you would store, let's say, A, B, C. So this is the item. This is the think of it. QTable widget item is the cell. Okay. And if we want to get the value of the cell, we type text. Okay. And again, I bet if you go to the documentation, well, let's see. QTable widget item. Do we have properties? Yeah, you have text here. All right. And then here we are checking, well, freeze, we said freeze false if QTable. So this is, so here we are checking what is the state of this box? Okay. So we get the item and then we check state and see if it's equal to Qt checked. Again, technically, like if I were to write this code these days, I would use ChatGPT. I would ask literally, I mean, should I do it? Let's do it again for fun. I like ChatGPT. Look, write by Qt5 code that checks if Qtangle chat. I don't know, it does a good job. Yeah, not that great.
But it gives you, for example, so in the designer, I couldn't find the item option. So I wouldn't
Yeah.
know how to refer to an item given a row and given a column.
Yep.
But
So I would,
ChatGPT solves the problem.
yeah, okay. So let's do that. Edit items.
Mhm.
So, okay, once again, here, right click. You can do it in, for what I would do, I would create I would create a copy of this file, new simulation wizard UI, so that you don't overwrite the original, but edit items, rows, last row. New row. What do you do then?
Yeah, it's right. And then you can input the name of the type A, B, and C.
Properties. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Okay. I don't know really, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, that's it. So new row is automatically set to 1, 2, 3, 4.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so in
Edit
Wizard.
items. Freeze. I don't know really.
It is. So go to rows.
Item.
Yeah,
Row.
items, okay. And so for example, in rows,
Yeah.
what happens is you have row 1, row 2, row 3.
Yeah.
It starts as 0 actually. But yeah. So the
Yeah.
first one is 0, which is medium. Yeah, then 1, 2, 3. And then in items you have your cell types. So you write medium, A, B.
Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. Yes.
Let's do A.
In the freeze, I don't know what must be parsed. Depends on how it's depends on how it's.
Yeah. So let's no that's good. So this could get you going, but if let's see how this guy is actually being. This is like plenty of that. Let's go to the top of the file and let's see cell label. Insert raw. So this is where we are inserting raw into cell rows. And I'm just trying to think. There must be a way. Checking name, blah, blah, blah. There is cell type item. So this is cell type. And we are setting it in column 0. Breeze, if this guy, if freeze CHD, so this object is actually this object. I'm pretty sure. If it's checked, then you create. So this is how you create the object the cell type widget item that is displayed as, you know, checkbox. Okay, this is how you create it. So you set data qt check state role, and then here we are checking it on, and if it's not, then we are checking it off. That's how you do it. So if you ever have to do the table which has those, you know, checkboxes, you can follow this pattern. How did I get there? I don't know. That was like a long time ago, probably Stack Overflow or something. I discovered it by reading documentation. I don't know, really. But anyway, if we iterate through the information that stores cell type data, let's see what we get at the end. So here's another trick you can do in your debugger. Maybe you know it already. You can place your cursor in a line 1188, which is past this loop. And there is this button here, run to cursor. Yeah, like this. I'm gonna hit it, and it brings me here. So I don't have to put breakpoint. And breakpoints are used if you are doing, you know, if you know that you always want to stop at the particular point. Okay. So AF table. I don't know what AF table is actually, to be honest. Affinity table, maybe. So affinity table, this is something that we use for, what is it? Contact local flags or adhesion flags, actually. Adhesion flags. So I'm gonna skip through that part because that's not really CMC table. Got here, yeah. Now, this is the PDE field data. So this is PDE field data is essentially here. So if you want to process the fields, we would read the fields here. So let's see how this looks like after we fill it out. Okay, so let's see what this data holds after we parse it, after we read all the data from UI and store it in the Python variables. So yeah, so it's really simple. It's a simple dictionary which says, you know, field name is FGF, and the type of solver we want to apply to this field is diffusion solver. That's all there is, really. All right. Secretion data, we're not using secretion data here, so we can jump through that part. Then there is chemotaxis data. So as you can see the pattern. Essentially, there are chunks of code, and this is, for better or worse, written in a single function. It might be easier for you actually to go through this. Might be better to actually have separate functions that read different pages. That's how I would do it now. But the bottom line is that after reading all this data, so this is where we hit this function, generate XML. Oh my gosh, what did I do? Now I have to go back. I have to go back here. Where am I? Yeah, generate XML, and even here. So apparently, I'm not sure actually that I have hit. Okay, so XML generator is, so we are creating a class called CC3DML generator base. I'm not gonna talk too much about this class. It's we can talk about it some later time if we need it. I don't think you need to really understand what it's doing. I mean, I will tell you what it's doing in a nutshell, but I'm not gonna go into details. Because quite frankly, if I'm writing the wizard code, I don't care really what it's doing internally. I know what it's doing, but I don't have to know every single detail. I will show you the mechanics of writing the code. So So we went a little bit too fast. So I want us to get to this line. Let's actually do this. You know, this is really funny. Oh, I know what's wrong. Remember, you know, as we were debugging code, I was putting names in the, I was putting comments, right? So this is the lesson for you. If you debug code and if you put, if you introduce new lines in the code, your breakpoints shift, and PyCharm will essentially, so previously this line, XML, generate XML, was line 1276, but I put 3 lines of code. And that's why we are a little bit confused. So not to worry, I'm going to stop the debugging session. I'm going to start it again. And I want to show, so I'm going to repeat quickly, generate 258, 8. See, I think this one was frozen, MGF, and continue one. I think we used this guy. Which one? And we use that guy. Okay. Now we are where we expect to be. So if you want to see what's going on in this generate XML function, you can step into it, hitting F7. So step into, this is step over, step into. Let's do this. So generate XML. It has a bunch of, I don't want you to actually get lost in what's going on. The important thing is that generate XML. The important thing is that we will leave this file, new simulation wizard, and we'll jump to that guy, which is in plugins, CC3D ML generator, CC3D ML generator base. And if you look at this file, you will see functions that look actually, that have meaningful names. So you have generate pod section, you have generate metadata simulation properties, you have generate cell type plugin. Those are actually meaningful names. So if you generate, so right now we are in generate pod section part, okay? And this function takes args and keywords arguments. So keywords is a dictionary. It's a dictionary. How does it look like? It looks like that. Now, where is this dictionary generated, this keywords dictionary? Well, I can look at the stack trace here. So I'm in generate path section. If I go one level up where this function was called from. So by the way, there is this generate decorate. So generate decorator is a function that takes argument as, that takes another function as an argument and adds some additional code prior to calling this generate pod section. Okay. So I don't want you to get lost in what this generator does. I'll tell you briefly what it does. But this keywords argument is actually called, initialized in the generate XML section. So data. So I have cell type dict, cell time dict. So I have medium A, B, C, right? This is what we read from our cell type data. Where did we read this? Well, we read this in the function that you're familiar with. So where is cell type? We've read it here, okay? Cell type data, okay? So we populated this dictionary and then generate XML function, which is here, stores this cell type data in a dictionary, keywords, right? And this dictionary, at the end of the day, ends up here, right? In this generate pods section. So once again, I should see data. Okay. So data has, my cell type things. What else does it have? Because general properties data. General properties data, let's go back and see where this happens. The general properties data is the data that we've read from the, where is it? Go back, is the data that we've read from this page, okay? So if you remember, let's actually type general properties data, dictionary. Well, it has dimensions, memory fluctuations, we've read this from this UI, okay? And this is being used as general properties data, right? So if I expand this, so keywords will contain general properties data, which is, our dimensions. You remember when we put the place where we populated those guys. What else does it have? Well, it has information about our PDE solver. It has information about, well, I think that's it, pretty much. Okay, so now let's explain how XML generation takes place. This M element is the key. So element.
Maciej,
Yeah.
don't you think it's better to teach the XML generation in the next opportunity?
I agree. That's too much, I think, for now.
Yes, I think it's too much. Even for me, I would like to try like creating a button and making some nonsense in terms of parsing the information.
Exactly.
I can do it already.
Yep.
So can I share my screen and give it a try?
Just before we go, I'll just show one thing, okay? And we'll stop here. So if you're curious, this M underscore element it represents the XML element. So let's open up any XML that we have. So here, if you can see, the name of this element is pods, and it will have children. So right now, the children list is probably empty. It is empty. But let's see how pods element, what this variable M element corresponds to on a concrete example, and I will, Pedro, take over the meeting. So this pods element, this variable M element corresponds to that guy. Okay, the children, this is the children of the pods element. I mean, this is the child of pods element, child of pods element. C data, you will see C data here, right? C data is this. Okay, anything that's at any text that is included between opening and closing element is called C data, and this is text. Those guys, those are attributes. So attribute X is equal to 100. Attribute Y is equal to 100. Attribute Z is equal to 1. If you're familiar with this type of terminology, the rest will be easy, because really what's going to happen in this section, that we're about to analyze, we will be essentially inserting children. So this is a POTS element. We will insert children like dimension, steps, temperature, neighbor order. Let's see how the children will look like. Dimension, steps, temperature. We will insert those guys. And the insertion actually takes place here. And I'm gonna stop here. I think we are in a good spot. So yeah, so I'm gonna unshare my screen. Go ahead, Pedro, and share yours. Yep. Oh yeah.
I think that you are muted.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so I'm a designer here, and I
Yep.
am just first opening that project. So this project here on PyCharm is the new simulation wizard.ui. It's
Yep.
good, the name, because it's the same name. New simulation wizard.py is the Python version. So is and the UI is the one you can open on Qt. So I copy the path. So I right click, copy path, absolute path. Here on Qt Designer, which by the way, here in Windows, I can just type a designer on activated conda environment. It works as you showed us. So if I just type designer and hit enter, designer opens here. Okay, then I copy and paste just the path, hit enter. It gives me this, leads me to this page, and new simulation.ui is the project we want to open. Okay, there we go. So here, let's create some nonsense. For example, I have this page. Let's do something more interesting. Let's put a text edit. I think it's line edit, actually.
Line edit, yeah.
Yeah. So here is somewhere I can write on. Okay. In practice. So what do you suggest us to this always being on the left side is selecting everything and hitting?
This guy, yeah. First,
okay.
Yeah, and then okay. So now, so you created a layout for your line edit and a spacer. That's good. First step. The second step, if you are done with your dialog, you should impose the layout for the whole dialog, which in this case I would suggest clicking the vertical one. So
just this one?
Yeah, this one. Yeah, let's do this. Yeah, and that's fine.
Okay.
And you can also, if you want to, if you want to center it, you could always add vertical spacers on both sides. So if you can, okay, click, no, not like this. Click on the dialog, no, on the white space here, like below, click here, and then click the break layout. So it's the button.
I know what you mean. I can do here.
No. Leave it like this. leave it like this, click, not right click, just click. And then click break layout on the toolbar, go up. Yep, this is break layout.
Okay.
Then add vertical, move this guy to the middle. And then vertical spacer, 1 and 2 below. Yeah, and then click, yeah.
Sorry,
Where
zoom was.
Yep, and then click on the whites, here somewhere, and then vertical layout, and it should be in the middle.
Okay, nice.
So you can always play with, but that's good enough.
Okay, so now I save.
You save that thing.
Yeah, I save that, and there is a command to make it a Python file.
Yes.
So I have to grab that command. Wait a second.
Technically, you shouldn't even run. You can.
This. Yeah, I have to activate. Sorry.
Yep. Activate wherever your CompuCell is installed.
For 1310, I think that's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That looks like a good place.
Then run this guy.
Yep. You're done.
Okay, it ran. Okay,
Yep.
now if I run main, it appears.
Yes.
The new window appears. No problem.
Let's see. Let's see if it does, but it should really appear.
And I added that breakpoint so it won't open here. New project, doesn't open. Now I can do this.
Oh. We cannot see your wizard.
Yeah, the wizard you are not seeing because there's a breakpoint in the code.
Oh, of course. Yes. That's a good point. So you have to click the play button on the lower panel. Yeah.
Here?
No, this one. Yes, that's the continue, resume program, or F9 in your case.
Interesting. And next, and here's my useless dialog. So I can type anything here and nothing will happen. So let's make something happen here. Now that I think I understood your lesson. So one thing we can do is, for example, I will do a nonsense thing just to make sure I understood.
That's fine.
Where is PyCharm?
That's what you should do first.
Yes,
always.
Exactly. So I will come here to the new simulation wizard.py, and I will find where the XML is created. XML. Okay. And here it asks if the box is checked, etc. Let's see if I can find where generate XML. Okay. So for example,
Pedro, so this is generate XML is called once you already extracted all the information from your user interface. So the first task is to extract the information from your line edit.
Okay. So this is before.
Before, yes.
Okay, so it's around here.
Go up. It's above the generate. Generate XML is the function that actually writes XML to the disk. So you want to extract this information earlier. So go up and you can start at any point. But let's start at the top because your page is
generate a new project.
Here, yeah. So line 1118, for example.
Okay. And here, let's say, for example, simulation name. Let's change the simulation name using that dialog, as weird as it sounds. So instead of name here, what I could do is I would come here to the designer, click this this object. This is the
And by the way,
name.
it's line edit. Okay, so this is good point. So by default, QDesigner will assign like generic names. So if it's line edit, it will be called line edit 1, line edit 2. You don't want this. So I suggest you change it to something meaningful, like simulation name override, or you know, simulation like start with lowercase name. That's the convention simulation. Exactly, good name, and under underscore OVR override. Right.
Okay.
Okay. That's
And then you usually do LE.
LE, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I like this. Yeah. And then save it, save the whole thing, and regenerate the file. So yes, regenerate the file. And now you can, let's type this code in your yeah, here.
So to get the stuff I wrote, I first refer to the object, which is self dot sim name override LE, which is the name of the object.
Yes.
And then so I could use here, I could use ChatGPT. I could look at the Qt documentation, or I can find or I can I don't know if Qt is useful for that purpose. Text.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
yeah. I think that's yeah, let's try it. I think it's
so dot text like this.
Yep.
Or it's let's see, dot text. Yes, we can also refer to others. For example, membrane fluctuations, it's dot text open close parentheses, so it should work, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now I will stop here.
Well, before you go, so notice that sometimes if we have text like in membrane fluctuation, so when we read text, we convert it to string.
Oh.
Wait. So this is no longer necessary. This was you had to do it in earlier version. Your code is correct now, I believe. So you don't have to convert to string.
Okay.
So I just wanted to mention this, that.
Okay. Okay, so let's try. Right?
Let's try. Yeah, I think this should work.
Okay, I will then run. So I think it's all saved or not. Maybe I have to reload PyCharm.
No. Attempt is relative. Why did we get this? Go to line 9. What does it say? From dot. Let's try it again. No, this is something weird. I think I know what it is. It's okay. Give me a second. Let me check what I have in my code. No, that's not it. Quickly check. So this works for me. You know, if you get error like that, and I don't know, quite frankly, why I get this error right now, but What I would type, let me actually send you the code over plugins. Hold on, so many. Plugins, and this is project. Let me send it to you over Zoom chat. Where is Zoom? Hey, come on.
Maybe some of my files are weird. I don't know.
Now, this funny thing is, where is Zoom, please? Hold on, meeting, window. Zoom meeting, oh, because you're in a full screen. Okay, got it. So let me actually send it to you now. Chat GPT. Not GPT, what am I talking about? This is really annoying. Here it is. Okay, if you put this line that I've sent instead of this, the one with the dot, it should work.
But I mean, it was working before, right?
Oh, wait. I think I know what's going on. Okay, you don't have to do it. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. But I've noticed that you were running current file.
Oh.
Wait, how?
So I have to,
Why?
yeah. Here?
Yeah. So how? But you're not running full to edit. You have just the new simulation wizard, right? What are you running now? Like, why?
I'm running main now.
Main, exactly.
Okay. Okay, I think it worked. All
Yeah.
right. Okay, so new CC3D, and I will give a name, simulation 1, for example. And I will already copy this path here so I can see if the if what I did worked. So
Yes.
next, and here is the useless stuff where I will overwrite the name of the simulation. So instead of new simulation 1, I will overwrite.
Yeah, that's fine. Good enough.
Okay.
Yeah, 1.
Next,
Exactly.
then I ignore everything.
Yep.
Finish. Okay.
Okay, so now the reason you are getting this, let me actually send you the, okay, hold on. Let me send you the, you have old code here, but CC3D ML generator base. Let me send you, Pedro, over, let me send you my file, okay?
Okay.
And just give me a second, CC3D ML generator. Let me send you this. I'm gonna send over email so that, because this is a file, so replying to the meeting today. Reply all. And this will be
Yeah, it didn't create the simulation, so
it didn't, because there is a, you have old version of the code which had a bug, but this bug was fixed since then. And you have to update. But just for the purpose of today, let's expedite it, and let's, and it is called generator PY. So I've sent you the file, and you have to take this file that I've sent over the email and replace it with and essentially replace the CC3D ML generator base or whatever it is. Yeah. Can I share files here, by the way, actually? Hey, hold on.
I think you can, yes.
I can, maybe I should do it. Okay, so let me actually send it here.
Go ahead.
Wait. It cannot, gosh. It's only from Dropbox, or it doesn't let me share it from my computer. So yeah, let's just grab this guy. And save it to, yeah. Yep.
Okay.
And downloads. So what you can do here, like if you're in downloads, yeah, you can just literally copy paste. In PyCharm, you should be able to copy and paste even. And this will be in plugins. Why do you see only just fraction of the plugins, not everything?
Because I'm choosing all changed files.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. Okay.
I had a
so-
bug. I had a bug previously, so I reverted the changes.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is on plugins here.
Plugins, CC3DML generator, second from the top.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, paste it here, like literally called Control V.
Paste. Okay.
Yep.
Overwrite.
Yep.
Okay. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. I think it should work.
Let's try again.
I would just to save time, make sure that it works. Just click continue for everything.
Okay.
And let's see if it.
I mean, I'm running. I'm not debugging. So.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think it's working. Let's see. So name 1,
yep.
And then I will overwrite to name 2.
Yep.
Let me just. So okay, so it's creating on new simulation.
Yep.
Next.
Yep.
Finish.
Good enough. Yeah.
Okay, it created,
Yep.
and it's here is name 1, but let's see if the folder.
And I'll tell you why it's M1. And you have chosen, yeah, okay, keep going.
Yeah, it didn't change to name 1.
It didn't change the name, and I'll tell you why. Because you have chosen the wrong thing to do. Go back to the code. Go back to the code, and I'll show you where the problem is. So go to this line, whatever, generate XML, like where you assign this. So it's like 1118. Yeah, go up. Okay, here. So go up. Okay, line 115 through 117. Okay. So here you read the name 115, line 1115. So here,
5,
name,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you read this name from the first
Okay.
page, and
Okay.
you're creating directory with this name.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So what you could do really, you could move your code instead of simulation name, move this, so replace line 1115 with with this one, yes. And then you should see.
Why? What is strip?
Oh no, you want, yes, you should see that, yes. Yeah,
like this? Dot strip?
Yes, strip is fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay,
the reason why you want
strip, just remove the spaces?
White spaces from the left and right. It doesn't remove the spaces in between.
Okay, nice. Safety measure. And this guy's name.
Yeah, no, you can leave it like that, whatever. But now if you run it, you should see that it actually worked.
Okay.
So this is actually a good case.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I should. When I saw name here, I should, instead of overwriting the variable name, I should see where it's being assigned and then changing there. Yeah, it was just like me being done.
No. I could have done the same. I mean, we had this before, right?
It's shit. Sorry, I have to. Okay, so it's starting to make sense. Now things are starting to connect to each other more clearly.
Exactly.
So okay, so I will give a name 1 here and a name 2 here.
Yep.
Next. Finish. Okay. Okay, so now it's name 2. Okay. And here in new simulation, we have the old name 1, 3 minutes ago. And the new one is actually name 2, not name 1. Okay,
Yep.
so it works.
Yep.
Okay, so it was very simple. And of course, so we covered a lot today. And one of the main things I would like to say is for each of all those complicated widgets in Qt, you'll have different ways of accessing the information and different ways of organizing them. So this is specific for the widgets you're using. If you're using a table, you may have to use a loop over the rows, etc. And this is more complicated. So probably the assignment I will give for you guys is to do exactly what I did right now. Exactly. Because I know it's very complex. I will get lost. Like if I try again tomorrow, I will get lost. The class is recorded, so no worries about that. And I will ask you to do exactly what I did now. So create a dump widget, a new page in Qt, a dump widget, and for example, overwrite the name of the simulation in a new widget. So to do that, you have to understand how to access the object name. In this case here, used sim name overwrite LE. And then here in the Python code, you need to know how to refer to that object, self dot, and then the name of the object, and how to take the text or any attribute you set on that widget. In this case, it's a text. So to refer to the text, we use dot text. And then once you get the information, doing exactly what I done here, we get prepared to the next class, which is generating the XML where the simulation will be built. So this will be another class, don't worry, guys. So the assignment for you will be to do exactly what I did now, okay? And it will be recorded for you to look again. And I will write the assignment down like neatly, so it's more organized. But so do you guys have questions? So let's take advantage that Maciej is still here. And before we end, please go ahead if you have any questions, Leo and Liam.
I try to open the content environment, but I cannot open the designer.
And you are on Mac, right? So
Yeah.
So I will, that's a good point. Let me actually, maybe, what I did was I was creating soft links. Okay, there is a better way. I mean, not a better way. I still like soft links, but I would do this. Do you want to share your screen maybe, Leo?
Oh, okay.
Share your screen and let's take a look at it.
I cannot share because unshare first.
Okay,
Oh.
sorry. Okay.
Share your screen and okay.
Yeah, follow what you said, and when I like enter designer, doesn't open for me.
That's fine. Okay, good. So even if you don't create this link, where did you create the link? Okay, so here's what you would do. If you are on double commander, go to your right panel, go inside the environment, double click, go to bean. Is there bean? No, not bean at the, oh, I know, because you are doing reverse sorting. So go, if you see name, you're in the name column, you have down arrow at the top. Yeah, exactly. So double click or designer.app. Yes, go to contents. Go to Mac OS. Now, let me actually see if this works on my thing. But I'll show you one. So if you do Control, not Apple, but Control Shift C. Now do Control Shift C. It copies the full path of your file designer to the clipboard. So now you can go to your terminal and paste it. The terminal, yeah, and run it. Let's see if it opens. Yep, it should open.
This one?
No, you already did. Go to the terminal. Where is the terminal? I'm not seeing your term. Oh, maybe, sorry. I am covering. Yeah, this one, yeah. So it's working. It will open in a second.
Open this thing.
Yep, that's your designer.
All right, so
Maybe you can do create, of course. Now, go to view, like at the toolbar, very top bar of your view.
You can draw there on his screen too, Maciej.
Oh yeah, I know. Oh yes, okay, you're right. So let me actually go to view, settings, here, view. Click the view, and uncheck property type, property editor, uncheck and check again. And check again, because it should show up. Yeah, check it, click again here. Okay, so you have property editor. So now you can create your whatever widgets you want. I mean, so you are starting fresh with the new dialog. I think
sorry, where's the column here?
Oh yeah. So you have to go to view again, and then widget box, check and uncheck, and check.
So I have to do all. Okay, understood.
Yeah, it on Mac is sort of buggy in that sense. Yeah.
Okay, understood. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, cool. And learn double commander. It's always useful. You will really like it. I'm telling you.
Okay. So I stop sharing.
Yeah, stop sharing. And yeah, so I have to run in a second. But in addition to what Pedro said, I would encourage you to actually really step through the code just the way I did and try to see, if things make sense, see how you read value of the dimension, how you read value of neighbor order and stuff like that. Just try to step, and just if you can get to the point where it says generate XML and understand what's going on, which I think you will, it will be good help going forward. So this was a good session. I hope you liked it. I'm glad that it's recorded because, those things are actually useful. It's and the next meeting probably in a week, Pedro, week, 2 weeks, whatever. It's your choice. Let's go over how you generate XML. And I think with that, you will be ready to do your actual projects, which was, I don't remember what. But we will talk more because yeah, we'll talk more, but you should be in a good place in terms of knowledge of the code, and yeah, things will be okay. So I have to jump off. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Maciej. Thank you very much.
Good talking to you, and yeah, let's do the next session.